Hey guys, I apologize for the difference of format in this particular video today. The reason being is because the thing that I used to hold my camera broke, and I'm currently waiting to get that thing replaced. So in the meantime, you're gonna have to excuse the crudity of the video. I very much feel like I'm vlogging right now, but I am not. But the movie I'm going to be reviewing today is definitely going to be worth this format, as I'm reviewing Onward, the latest film from Pixar. It stars Tom Holland and Chris Pratt as they live in a world that used to be filled with magic and dragons and wizards and adventure. But magic wasn't always easy to master, so people relied on technology, and they essentially just turned into our world. And the plot follows two brothers, played of course by Holland and Pratt, Ian and Barley Lightfoot. You see, back when, before Ian was even born, I think, and when Barley was only like a couple years old, their father got sick of a disease and he died. And Ian grew up not really knowing who his father was. But one day they discover a mystical staff that their father left behind, and in it, it allowed whoever, if they were to recite a special spell, he would be back for 24 hours. Now, that sounds all fine and dandy, but when they try and use the spell, it goes wrong, and it only brings back their dad's legs. So, yeah, so now they have 24 hours in order to be able to bring the rest of him back before he completely fades away back into the afterlife. I just want to mention real quick, but yeah, that's the basic premise of Onward. I want to mention real quick the fact that how it's nice the fact that Pixar is returning to making original movies, because they've been doing sequels, prequels, spin-offs for so long that it's honestly nice to be able to feel something so refreshing and new again, which, to be fair, the suburban fantasy element has been used before, but not in this particular way. One thing I want to mention real quick is that about how I really do think the fact that it's probably one of the more funnier Pixar films in a while. Like, yes, Toy Story 4 did have comedic moments, Ducky and Bunny were hilarious, but I really do think the fact that when it comes to the humor in this movie, I do think the fact that it is, it is consistent with the humor, and it actually is pretty funny. The voice cast all does an incredible job. Tom Holland, of course, kills it as Ian. Chris Pratt, very much does his Thor impersonation voice. Like, if you liked his impersonation of Thor in Infinity War, that's essentially kind of what he's doing here. But yeah, he's really great. Loius-Dreyfus, who actually plays the mother, Laurel, she actually does, for the few moments that we actually see her, because she has like a little side plot, running concurrently to this, in which she's trying to find her boys because she has no idea what they're doing. I think the moments that we get of her in here, they're actually really nice. And Octavia Spencer as the Manticore is also great too. She has some great moments in there that actually made me legitimately laugh out loud. I think that they were actually really well done. And I love the little subplot in which she and Laura are trying to be able to team. It's sort of like an unlikely duo of the two, as, because when Ian and Barley end up going to the Manticore's tavern, they find that instead of it being like this creepy, spooky mansion, it's basically just like a Chuck E. Cheese or TGI Fridays. It's just essentially become this restaurant, and it was not at all what they were expecting at all. But yeah, there were a lot of really great moments with the Manticore. Very much like any Pixar movie, it does make you cry. There are a lot of very emotional moments in here, particularly because the reason why the director of the movie, I'm forgetting his name right now, listed down below in the description for the credits, he actually based this idea upon the fact that he actually didn't know much about his own dad when he was younger, and he only heard him based on how other people described him and his voice recordings. And of course, I really do like the idea of these two younger brothers discovering the fact that these two brothers together realizing the fact that even though they really didn't have a dad, they did have each other, and they did look out for one another, and that was really cool to establish the fact that even if they don't have a dad, their brotherly love for each other definitely, well, it won't certainly replace that. It definitely is something special, and that isn't to be ignored. But yeah. But while overall I did think the fact the movie is good, I do feel like the fact that a lot of people are going to compare it to other Pixar movies and say that it's probably weaker than a lot of them. Which I will admit the fact that yeah, it is a bit compared to like other stuff like the Toy Story movies or Up or anything like that, it's not as good as those movies, but I do think the fact that in its own right, I do think it stands up on its own pretty well. Um, I also want to mention about how, uh, I'm not saying the fact that it's a bit weird, but you know, when the teaser first came out for this, you didn't know anything about, you know, the whole dad subplot with the legs, and you just think, oh, it's just these two brothers just going on an adventure, which is really cool. But then out of nowhere, not really out of nowhere, but then there's the element of the dad, who's just legs. It definitely also provides some funny moments here and there, but yeah, it definitely does feel a bit, you know, weird. Also, I apologize if the camera is shaking a little bit. Like I said before, I am holding this up with my arm, and it is getting very tired to me recording this. Also, want to mention real quick, it is not one of those Disney movies in which it turns out the villain is a surprise. Very happy the fact that they're hopefully slowly but surely moving away from the cliche of the villain turning out to be a surprise, and you know, it's not revealed till the end, and it's a character that you met early in the movie, yada yada yada. I am very much glad the fact that they are kind of moving away from that trope, in addition to the fact that they're making original ideas again, guys. I'm really looking forward to Soul because that's being done by Pete Docter, the same guy that did Inside Out, and Inside Out is a great movie. If you have not seen Inside Out, what is wrong with you? I highly recommend that movie. It's really well done. It's definitely top 5 best Pixar movies ever made. Onward, I definitely will admit, is probably in my personal top 10 of Pixar movies. Not only that, but I just want to mention real quick about how amazing the animation was, because about how expressive the characters can be. Like, there are several moments in which they're able to capture just the really well-tuned emotions of their face and the little mannerisms of the person. I really do think the fact that it's really well done. And overall, I am going to give Onward a 7.5 out of 10. I think it is a really solid movie. I highly recommend that you go see it. And honestly, it kind of feels like that we need more releases to reality now more than ever, considering the current situation that's currently going on right now. I also want to say real quick that I am a bit bummed the fact that they did end up delaying No Time to Die to November, but I do understand why they did that. Next week, however, hopefully I'll be able to fix this, or not rather next week, but rather sometime later on this week, I actually will be doing another review of a superhero movie, but it is neither Marvel or DC. It is actually from a character that you may or may not have heard of before, and it's from a company that you may or may not have heard of before. And I think this comic that I'm currently holding on to right here might actually serve as a clue as to what exactly it's going to be. So, yeah, I look forward to that review sometime later on this week. And, as always, stay gold. Hold on, I should probably put this down and do it.